Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another edition of the TNC Dialogue by the Nutritionist Corner, which is a platform that was founded by myself, Charity Onyonyi. I'm a certified nutritionist and I'm a mental wellness advocate. I'm a digital content strategist. My partner Lillian will be joining us a little bit later, but she is also a certified nutritionist, a health advocate, and a treasurer of our union, KUNAD. So today, conversation, which is expertise versus visibility, what really drives professional growth. And this was inspired by one of the articles I wrote on my newsletter, The Nutritionist Compass. Um, I talk about nutrition insights, self care, and just everything that is happening in our field. And when I was writing that article, one question that stuck out to me was, when did being a healthcare professional stop being enough? Because I feel like these days there's a pressure that comes with being online. I feel like that is something that you're going to discuss at length with my partner when she joins us. For years, we've been taught that success in healthcare comes from expertise. Of course, that's why we went to school, that's why we studied the course we studied in this healthcare profession. And after that, opportunity follows. And I feel like for me, that is one of my pain point when I started this course about years and years and years ago. I thought by the end of my internship period, opportunities will be lining up for me, but that's not the case. So if you're watching me this bright early morning, you can leave in the comment section. Did you think the same? Did you think that after you finished your undergraduate or your diploma or have your certificate, that opportunity will come by so easily? And today, I feel like many of us are operating in a very different environment. Look at us. Some of us ventured into the digital platform. We became educators. We have our own online platforms, and this brings about such an expectation in terms of we're supposed to build brands, we're supposed to create content in order to maintain professional visibility. Are we supposed to engage online? Are we supposed to communicate our expertise beyond the traditional setting? So I feel like this can lead into one major question, which is what really drives professional growth today, and that is what we are going to discuss in today's TNC dialogue. Is it expertise? Is it visibility, or is it both? So please stay tuned, because I feel like today's discussion is not 100% about social media. When people hear visibility, they only think about social media, but that is not what you're going to 100% discuss today. It's about our professional relevance, it's about our influence, it's about opportunities that come with you being a healthcare professional. And it's about how healthcare professional can thrive in an increasingly digital world. Like I said, we're moving to the digital era, technological era, whether we like it or not. And this conversation is very, very important, because I feel like most of us get lost um, between us having the knowledge, having the expertise, and being visible either online or in our places of work in wherever country you're in. So please stay tuned, and remember, guys, as the Nutritionist Corner platform, we've been nominated as new NGO Company of the Year by the Golden Voice Awards. So please feel free to head over to our page. I shared a link. You can click and vote for us. We really, really appreciate it. So we're going to dive into the first segment, because I like dividing them into segments so that it can make the discussion very organized. So the first segment that we are going to discuss is the professional landscape, and we're going to look at some of the changes that have occurred in our field, because I feel like most of us, when we finished way years back, the landscape of the nutrition field wasn't as versatile as it is right now, and I feel like our profession has changed. Not the science, not the ethics, of course, will still remain ethical. Not the responsibility, we still have responsibilities as nutritionists, but I feel like the environment around nutrition as a field, nutrition as a whole, has changed. Guys, 20 years ago, ask those nutritionists who have been working for over 20 years. Um, Many of them build their careers without even posting online, because back then digital space was not really big. Internet was just coming too, so most of them made their careers successful. Even those business people who are way, they made their career successful without being online. But today, um according to LinkedIn workforce, of course, I read a lot. Inside professionals with visible professional profiles, those who are into thought leadership, content, and active networking are significantly more likely to get discovered for opportunities than those who remain invisible. Yes, I know someone in the comments will say, but not all of us are comfortable on social media, and we're still making successful careers of social media. But I talked about this not fully being all about social media. You can still be visible even if you're not on social media by attending conferences, networking events, workshops, award shows, and all that. So in healthcare specifically, um, patients, employers, organizations, media houses, and conference organizers increasingly discover professional online before meeting them in person. So I want to just by a show of hands, leave in the comments. How many of you have had a DM, someone telling them, I have seen your work on social media and I would love to work with you. And I feel like this whole platform, the Nutritionist Corner, was born through visibility. I was posting on LinkedIn, Leland was posting on LinkedIn, and we saw that we had the same vision, and we came together and we created this platform. So if I was not visible online, or I wasn't talking about my expertise and showcasing what I can do and building more visibility, we will not have met with Lillian. And I feel like when she comes on, she's going to attest to that. So as we eagerly wait for her to log in, I'll also pin that question and ask her to just say like how the landscape when it comes to the nutrition field has changed over the years. And you watching in the comment section, whether on LinkedIn or you'll watch this on YouTube, you can leave it in the comment section. How has the nutrition landscape changed? If you've been working for more than 15, 20 years and you've just recently started working, you can also leave your comments, and let's fuel this discussion. Because for me, I feel like visibility has become a form of professional currency. These days, a lot of people are really working on becoming visible because they have seen the power of visibility, not because expertise doesn't matter. Expertise really matters. Yeah, you need to read, and be knowledgeable, but because being discovered is starting to matter more. So if you agree with me, you can you can just leave in the comment. Do you think visibility has become a form of professional currency, even to you, especially the upcoming nutritionists, nutrition students? You can leave in the comment section. Let us discuss. So that was the first segment, and I feel like there's a lot to say about the nutrition landscape. Hata mi nikikumbuka when I was still I did my attachment, I did my internship, I worked in the hospital for a while. I feel like I could see the change from when I started as an attachee until I got into the clinical practice. I could see there's a lot of change when it comes to our landscape. A lot of people are going online to read more, and then they come and challenge you if you do not have your knowledge and facts right. That's why expertise is very important. So we're going to move on to the second segment, which is visibility versus expertise. Um, So I know most of you will understand what visibility means and what expertise mean. And one of the most fascinating tension in today's professional world is that visibility and expertise are often treated as though they're the same thing. I feel like that is the mistake I see most of you people make here, especially if you're on social media, especially um, in these spaces where that's the story for another day. Let me just leave it at that. But according to me, they're not. Because someone can be highly visible, but not highly skilled. And that is where you, as a nutrition profession, as a healthcare profession, your knowledge really comes to play. You know, there's some people here who have a lot of numbers. There's some people on social media or outside. Umeweka kwa group ya watu and someone is loudly talking about nutrition and they actually don't know what they're saying. You can leave in the comment section if you've experienced someone telling you more about nutrition and you are a nutritionist. So you find that this person is highly visible, holds a position as the highest number, but they're not skilled in the nutrition field. And you'll find most of you are very, very skilled. You have your expertise, you have your knowledge, but you're invisible. People don't know where to find you. As people, we have to dig deep into the social media space in order to find certified nutritionists. So I keep asking myself, why is that the case? Because a lot of people right now, they have their phone. Even you watching me, you still have your phone in hand if you're using it to watch this session, or you'll use it to watch this session. Where are you guys? Because everyone is having their phone, everyone is Googling something. So if I'm told you need to see a nutritionist or I need to see a nutritionist, what will I do? I will go to Google and I will search the nearest nutritionist to me because Google has that feature. So when your name pops up or a name of someone who is highly visible but not skilled pops up, so of course that person will go and um, talk to that person. Or on social media, someone who is not highly skilled, doesn't have the expertise in nutrition, is talking about nutrition. So you'll find that brings about a lot of problems when it comes to misinformation out there. So research on professional influence consistently show that visibility often creates opportunity before competence is fully evaluated. So the person who gets invited to speak often is the person who is known. And I feel like that is sadly true. Someone will reach out to you because they say you're talking about, let's say, diabetes, or you're talking about maternal nutrition, or you're talking about advocacy. Someone will reach to you via maybe your LinkedIn. They will go and look at what, because I see a lot of people viewing our LinkedIn page, and I say I'm glad I've tried, or we've tried our best to optimize this page so that people can know what it's all about. So when they view this page, then they will come to our DM and say, we like what you're doing and we'd like to collaborate with you. So let that sink in. So the person who gets contacted for partnership is often the person who is visible. And I feel like Lillian will also talk at length about that. The person who gets discovered is often the person who can be easily found. Like I said, when I have an opportunity, I will go to my LinkedIn page and see people who are consistently posting and I see them doing a good job. I will reach out to them because I know them. If I see an opportunity, I will share with someone who I see visible. That is very, very deep. And I feel like when you get to understand what that means, you'll be able to start working on um, adjusting to what is currently happening in our nutrition field. Yes. So visibility may get you noticed or may make people notice you, but expertise determine whether you remain credible. Because I see a lot of people go viral, but they fade away because you think visibility will sustain you. No. Once you become visible, once I spot you, once you spot this page, the Nutritionist Corner, you follow, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you come to our discussion, you come to our Thursday webinar session, you will stay and keep coming back for almost 59 sessions because you believe in our credibility, you believe in the expertise we bring to our platform. So that is very, very important. That's why they are not the same thing, but they are equally important when it comes to professional growth. Visibility will get you to the door, but your expertise will open the door, and the door will remain open for more opportunity, for more collaboration, for more partnership, for more capital, financial capital, resources, because people believe you're truly capable of delivering what you are saying. So I want you guys to reflect on this. The real danger comes when we start rewarding visibility without examining competency. That's why Lillian talks at length about regulation. Guys, go look at what regulations are. Even if you are a professional, you're visible, you have to know what you can say and what you cannot say, especially on this online platform, on any platform, whether offline or online, you're called. Remember, uh, rewarding visibility without examining competence is very, very dangerous. So you have to really be careful when it comes to that. So, as we finish segment two, where we talk about expertise and visibility, I'd love for you guys to leave in the comment section, or in the comments of this discussion. Um, what's your thought on visibility? Are you struggling with visibility? Do you think visibility is something that you are working at? And what are your thoughts on expertise? Do you have any expertise? You can leave in the comment section so that we can have a discussion, or we'll be able to respond to it at the end of this session. Yeah. So we're going to look at segment three. So we're going to look at why many professionals struggle with visibility. So we already looked at the importance of visibility and the importance of expertise, but most of you here will say we're really struggling with visibility. Yeah, someone who has a lot of numbers but they don't have the skills, have the visibility, but some of us here have the knowledge, have the expertise, we have the skills, but we're struggling to get visibility. And let's be honest, guys, many healthcare professionals know visibility matters. When you log in and you find a TikTok talking about something that you're like, are people really taking in what this person is saying? I know I can do much more. I know I can educate. I know I can debunk that myth. But we still struggle with visibility. Once in a while, I also struggled with visibility. And I know Lilian will attest to her struggling with visibility too. And I have a list because a lot of you reached out to me on my DM asking how can we do this. I'll just mention but a few reasons and try to expound on them more. Some of the reason why many of you struggled with visibility, you have the expertise and you've seen the two equally matters when it comes to professional growth, but most of us struggle with visibility. The first one is fear of judgment. You know what judgment is? You all up in your head, you're thinking, if I take my video and record, what will people say? People just be looking at me and making me feel bad, or they'll laugh at me, or they'll come and correct me, or what will they say? Those thoughts, or they cross my mind 100% sometimes when I'm creating content, when I come to moderate, especially on this TNC dialogue session, and you're interviewing someone who has a vast experience. Sometimes you feel like, what will they think when you want to take that first post on your LinkedIn, or you want to open your LinkedIn account, or you want to start being consistent on um, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or you want to go to that church and stand in front of the audience and educate them about nutrition. In that village baraza, you want to educate them on the importance and the role of nutrition. That mother group, that WhatsApp group you're in, but you have that fear of judgment that sometimes hinder you being visible, especially when you're promoting nutrition. And I feel like this is a bone of contention for most of us. We have fear of judgment. But I'm here to tell you, once those voices have been silent and you start and it picks momentum and you see yourself growing, you will thank you who never gave in to that fear of judgment. You're going to see another reason is fear of being seen as self-promotional. Sometimes I used to also go through this at the beginning of my digital content journey. When I've achieved something, I used to feel as if I'm bragging when I post about it. When I want to promote something that is important to me, I feel like maybe I'm promoting myself too much. People will see like you. And for me, I always tell you guys, your own brand. If you have something to post, you have something that will benefit people or will propel your career forward, go. There are a lot of networking events in Nairobi, and I feel like as the Nutritionist Corner platform, we also deal with networking, and I feel like that is also something that we have not been really focusing on, but is something that is much needed in our nutrition space. So once you get into that room and you start networking and you start interacting with this uh, let me call them big wigs in the healthcare space. You just see them as human and they give you advice and they tell us to work together, that voice of yeah, being promotional will fade away. And I feel like those people who really drive their profession forward, they are people who take the reins and move. You have a goal in mind. You're saying, you see, I want to create a visibility for myself. So I'll go to this um, networking opportunity and I'm going to showcase my expertise and I'm going to move ahead. I want to partner with Lillian and I know she's going to be at an event. I will go to that event with this mind that I might meet her and I might want to work with her. So when I see her, there are those jitters, and you get scared. But once you take the leap, you'll not even think about maybe I'm promote. And it's good to promote yourself. You are a nutritionist. Perfectionism. This is something that most of us really face. Uh, the beginning, I used to really be in my head a lot when I wanted to do something. I've created a post, I've created a video, I overanalyze it, I overread it, and then I end up not posting because the post is not perfect for everyone. And I feel like the posts that I have overthought and really over edit, they never usually get the impression I want. But the post that I was truly vulnerable, I was truly myself, and I was showcasing my professional journey from where I was to where I am right now, it gets a lot of engagement because people could feel like this is something she is passionate about and she's telling us the truth. So perfectionism is one uh, reason people don't talk about it that much. This is also something I feel like we discussed earlier on during our webinars at the beginning of TNC, and that is imposter syndrome. And I talked at length about imposter syndrome on my platform too. Imposter syndrome, that voice that tells you you're not good enough. You want to post, you want to start, but you have this knowing feeling at the back of your mind that is telling you you're not good enough, like you don't know. And I feel like I usually tell this story. I remember when I first got my job as the hospital, I had a huge case of imposter syndrome because I felt like I didn't deserve to be there, like someone else deserved to be there. You're called to give a talk on a topic you're passionate about. You to just stand in front of people, but you have this way telling you're not good enough. People will not believe what you're saying. And imposter syndrome is so bad. If you've ever faced imposter syndrome, please leave in the comment section. let's discuss. How have you tackled it? Are you still having imposter syndrome? Because I know it never really goes away. It's just you finding coping mechanisms to help you keep it at bay. And this is also something that most of us face because we were not really taught in school. Sisi tukikuwa campus, sisi hata vitu za digital were not there. And I'm glad that the curriculum in some institution are incorporating the role of digital skills when it comes to nutrition profession. Some of us lack the digital skills to pull it off when it comes to visibility. Like I said, not all of us want to be on social media, but if you do want to be on social media, you need to learn digital skills, and that is something that you need to invest in. Go learn your digital skills. Learn about the algorithm on LinkedIn. Learn about the algorithm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any platform that you want to propel your profession. And I know most of you are based on LinkedIn, so learn the algorithm when it comes to LinkedIn. Which posts go viral? Which posts don't? What do people want to see? What am I passionate? What's my niche? Go learn the digital skills so that it stops being the reason why you struggle with visibility. Cultural beliefs are around humility. Like I say, most of us are taught to be humble, and that's a debate for another day. I do not want to go into it. When you're doing something, you have to do it in a harsher tone. But I know these days that's not the case. You need to do it in a harsher tone because you feel like when I talk about myself, I'm boastful. When I showcase my skills, when I showcase my journey as a nutrition profession, I've been elected to have a post in the nutrition field. I have to remain hush hush because we have this belief that you have to be humble. Know the difference between you propelling your career and you being humble. You can still be humble and still be visible enough to propel and drive your career and professional growth. So that is very, very important. So those are some of the few reasons I feel hinders professional visibility. So if you have any as a professional or you struggle with any visibility problems or challenges that I've mentioned, leave it in the comment section of this live session. We'll be able to respond to it. How have you tackled these professional struggles as a nutritionist, as a professional? How have you dealt with them? Feel free to leave in the comment section, and we'll be able to respond to them as we move forward. So it's interestingly, guys, research on professional confidence show that high performing individuals are often more likely to underestimate their expertise less than competent like you have the skills but you still, that imposter syndrome is telling you, you know, you're not good enough, so you end up underestimating your expertise. And I feel like Leon has played a big role in encouraging me to just push. She always tell me, you post, you're good. Just, I remember I was with her during the Afriglow award, and she was there when I was receiving the award. She was like, you deserve this, because you know, even when you're holding that award, there's still the voice at the back of your mind that is telling you you're not good enough. And I don't know where that voice comes from. So I feel like I'm very passionate when it comes to imposter syndrome, and I feel like it hinders most of our professional growth to date, because it's going to hinder how visible you become, and going to hinder how well you think you're good at what you do. It hinders your expertise. You've gone to school, you studied for 4 years, you've gone for your 1 year internship if it's still there. You've specialized, you're good at the area you specialize in, but you still feel like I'm not good enough. You underestimate yourself, so you don't show up for your profession as you're supposed to. So it ends up hindering your professional growth. So sometimes the professionals who have the most value to offer are the least to likely speak up. Hata class, kumbukeni tu, unaulizwa swali, you know the answer, but just raising your hand is a problem because you feel like fear of judgment. Watu watadhania musheme. Kushema is normal. Hata mi hapa sahii na struggle kushema because I'm I'm moderating and still talking on the session, so I've not had a sip of water. So okay, Shemaendelea, like speak up. Like I said, it's not only on social media. It can be in the hospital you're working in. It can be in the organization you're working in. It can be the wellness or corporate event you've been called to speak up. You're propelling your profession. Yeah, you have a passion in corporate wellness, and a lot of corporate organization are in need of these wellness packages to talk to their employers or employees. So when you're called and you decline the offer because you feel like you're not good enough to show up and talk about nutrition, and that is a goal you have to propel your professional growth, so I feel like that creates a visibility gap because you'll end up staying at the back of the room because you feel like you're not visible enough. You have the expertise, but it hinders your visibility. That's why I told you guys those two intertwine, and that's why today's discussion is very, very important. So the question that I will pose to you guys is, what knowledge never reaches people because the expert chose to remain silent? So you are an expert watching me. What knowledge have you never told people because you choose to remain silent because you're like, someone else will take it. Someone is debunking a myth on TikTok and you can't do it. You're like, on LinkedIn, there's a major discussion going on around what is happening in our video. Like, someone else will. And you know this organization because they don't have time to go and Google. Sometimes they come to LinkedIn and they just search nutrition because you're good at what you do, but you chose to remain. You just keep quiet. Yeah. So you miss an opportunity to grow because of the fears that I have talked about in segment 3. So I hope that segment has been able to help you think and at least about the intersection between your expertise and your visibility and the role they play in you not getting the opportunity or you not propelling your growth wherever you are. Some of you are just, anyways, that's a story for another day. So we're going to look at segment 4. We're going to look at segment 4. And segment 4 is building visibility authentically. I hope I've pronounced it well. Authentic. Maneno ikikataa kutoka ni sawa. So one misconception I would like for us to talk about, and I feel like it's a challenge today to you guys, is sorry, I was receiving a call. So we were talking about building visibility authentically. And I feel like this is a challenge from me to you guys. And today I want to challenge the idea that visibility equals social media influence. That's why throughout this whole session, I have been telling you guys, yeah, I've been telling you guys, it's not about being on social media or having a social media influence. You can still be an expert, you can still build visibility, but you're off social media. Yes. So that is what we're going to talk about in segment 4. So visibility is much broader than that. Yeah. Visibility can look like publishing articles. Yes. If you're good at writing, some of you are very good at writing. I love reading your posts. Continue publishing those articles. Teaching in the hospital, in the community. I feel like nutrition, my parents should tell me, unajua nutrition ni kama tu kuwa mwalimu, because you're constantly teaching and educating about nutrition. Research. The research field is very versatile. New and upcoming things are constantly emerging. Yeah. There are viral trends that are going around. How credible are they? There's some truth in them. Research field is there. You can venture into that. Conference presentation. And there's a session we had with Lillian where we gave you guys tips on how to come up with good presentation. Go watch it. I feel like it's up on our YouTube channel, I think. Go watch how to create good presentation. Volunteer abstract. I usually feel so happy when I see young people presenting their abstract in conferences. It makes me feel good. Webinar facilitation. Come to us as the Nutritionist Corner platform. Come and tell us today, this session I want to moderate. We'll give you a mantle for one session. Hata hapa kwa TNC dialogue, you so that you can feel how it feels to be behind the scenes moderating and giving people a chance to speak. Come and tell us you want to facilitate, you want to be a speaker, you want to do this, and you're not on social media. We will still propel and promote your session. People will still come and listen to you even if you're not on social media. Mentorship. A lot of people need mentorship. uh, and I feel like for us, we struggled a lot because I feel like that is something that I usually can't come to terms with. Is like, si tulipambana, hatukuwa na good mentors back then. But right now, there are people who are mentoring the young people. You can be a mentor. Community work. In your community, utajulikana ka daktari wa lishe bora. That is what is called, daktari wa chakula. That is what most public hospitals are known. So in community, umeenda kwa baraza za wamama and you sat there and you educated them in all they need to know. So your visibility is known through the community. Wanajua Charity ni daktari wa lishe, alituongelesha juzi kuhusu usafi ikikuja kwa chakula. Yeah? Alituongelesha jinsi ya kutengeneza matunda, kutengeneza mboga so that we don't lose the vital micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals. So they know, like when they have a problem, when they have these chamas, they will call you to come and talk because you're visible enough and they know you through your visibility and now through your expertise in that particular topic. Thought leadership. I usually define for you guys thought leadership, and I feel like I will discuss with Lilia so that we can also have a session on thought leadership so that you can understand what thought leadership is. Yeah. So when it comes to visibility, the goal is not fame. Because I know most of us these days, social media imetufanya tuone like you have to really go viral for you to have an influence or what. No. That's why I say this is not about social media influence. The goal is to be discovered enough for it to drive your professional growth today. Because I feel like most of us, we really lack opportunities because we think we're not good enough for it, or we don't put ourselves out there enough. I've mentioned, I wish I could write, because for me, when I edit my video, I usually would like to write what I've said so that even if you're not listening, you will read. I've mentioned a lot of places you can be visible that are off social media. So there's no excuse for you not to want to propel yourself. And remember, guys, people cannot benefit from your expertise if they don't know you exist. How will people know you exist? How will people know you exist if you don't push yourself? And I feel like when you have this growth mindset, you really get out of your head, you get out of that cocoon of safety. You'll be able to see there's a whole lot of world out there. Like for me, when I started my journey as a digital content creation in this nutrition space, I didn't think I would get to where I am right now. But I had this belief that I wanted to be there, right there. So when I look back at my work, I feel happy because I have been discovered. You people know who I am. You know who Lillian is. You know our platform because you keep on following us, you keep on sharing, you keep coming back to our sessions, and we are discoverable. because we've made it a point to always showcase both visibility, and you'll come and see our expertise each um, in our own areas of expertise. So before we go any further, pia mi nikunywe maji. Finally, my co-founder has joined me, Lilian. You can say hi to people.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Apologies for the extreme lateness. Things were happening, but we are well. I will
It's okay.
follow through.
Yeah, no, nataka
Mm.
ujiintroduce and then you answer some of the questions nilikuwa nakurushia when you're not here.
Okay. So my name is Lilian Mumina. I am one of the co-founders of The Nutritionist Corner. I don't know if Charity has told you guys, we have been nominated as the new organization of the year, and we will post the link so that you can vote for us. And yeah, Charity, you can share the questions. I was not sikuwa nasikiza, nilikuwa nimeshikana kidogo, ika extend for like 40 minutes.
We lean on each other. So I had already told them about the award at the beginning of the session. So I had posted this question, the first one. Sijui nikwambie ukirespond and then I go to the next hivyo.
Yeah, niambie nikirespond so that it is easier nisikuwe na blockage.
So the first segment we had talked about the professional landscape, and I highlighted the change when it comes to nutrition, especially in this digital world. So what is your experience with the changing, like nutrition 20 years ago and nutrition field right now is quite different. What are your thoughts and the role of visibility in it?
Okay. I might not be able to talk about 20 years ago, but of course I can talk about it because of what I have actually been reading. But 20 years ago, of course, nutrition was something that was really, really extremely new. It had just been introduced, and very few people, even the medics and the healthcare professionals, actually knew anything about nutrition. I remember in a discussion that we were having sometimes when I was in internship, one of the consultants was telling us that when the Kenyan healthcare system actually adapted nutrition, they started sending people to do nutrition because they were doing them as part of classwork for like maybe biology, and they would just the biology and the physiology class or something like that, but they were not tackling food. So for the declarations of the 2000 millennial goals, the MDGs, then now it became apparent that food was contributing to disease, and that is when they started now sending people to study and work on nutrition and such, but they were doing it as part of the professional development for the medical doctors. Unfortunately, it was not visible. It was, yes, of course, by then we were having like a few nutritionists here and there, but their work was solely in the catering department, where they were being basically catering departments. There was no major clinical dietetics like community nutrition, public health nutrition. No, it was very limited. And of course, there was very limited visibility, and you can tell the impact of what you're currently dealing with. Currently, the NCDs that you're dealing with as a country that are related to food, we will not be dealing with them if nutrition was visible then. But now you see, because of lack of visibility, lack of professional definement, because we were not defined as a professional, no one understood what the landscape of nutrition would look like or needed. And that was a big challenge, and that is, we are seeing the ripple effect 20, 30 years later. So I think one of the thing that I have seen over the years that I have been around is that a lot is changing, and there's demand for visibility. We know that we need to go to the dentist at least once a year. We know that we need to check with the pharmacist when you're getting medication. We know that we need to go to a pediatrician if our baby is not feeling well. But we are still yet to understand that we need to go to a nutritionist when we are diagnosed with any condition, so that we can get any diet related information, So there's a lot of change that has happened over time, but there's still room to make nutrition more visible and more and give it a clear structure when it comes to defining what really nutrition is. I don't know if I've answered your question, Charity.
Yes, you have, and you've brought a vast of knowledge when it comes to that I had not highlighted. So the second segment, because Nikadi you need to prepare to go to work. So the second segment is we talked about visibility versus expert as part of the title today. So you, as someone who is in the advocacy space, um, you know more about regulation when it comes to being visible and just the real danger that comes when we start rewarding visibility without examining competence. What's your thought in that?
Now, hapo kuna shida moja kubwa sana, because yes, we want nutrition to be visible, but we also want to maintain professionalism. We want to make sure that whatever is being consumed by Kenyans, whatever is being available for Kenyans, is something that can be backed up with facts and something that can actually help Kenyans. The intersection between expertise and visibility is very kidogo, because of course we have professionals, we have you, we have me, we have others. Like I saw Jaredin started pushing content on nutrition, talking about the gut. We also have Kinandenya and the likes that actually now are trying so hard to make sure that the clinical aspect of nutrition is out, or the physiological and the anatomical aspect of nutrition. Now, the problem is there are people who are opportunists. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be an opportunist. I wish our professionals were opportunists. I wish all nutritionists understood the opportunities in the wellness and nutrition and health space. But a good number of us are a bit reserved, because if you went through the 844 system, it taught you that ukimaliza shule, you go knock on doors, corporate doors, you drop CVs, unapata kazi, you get employed, and you get a salary for monthly and the likes. Huh? Now this space of now merging expertise with visibility now requires you to start thinking about building something that we call a personal brand, so that you can be visible and you can be relatable. And majority of us are not taught that. That's the first problem. So you find that those who are done marketing, someone who has done marketing, someone who knows how to do market research, and then they meet someone else who's done sales, and then they said, okay, fine, this is what is currently being needed. Like people need wellness services, and then they decide, okay, fine, you're going to do this because we've done market research, we're going to start pushing out content. What will happen is that Kenyans over time will start trusting those people with their health. And remember, this person is not regulated. So they have no, what is it called? They have no, they have no one checking on them. They have no one making sure that whatever they are putting out there is correct. They are just there. And realistically, that is illegal, because Kenya has defined clearly who should be talking about nutrition in the country within the scope of 254. But now that is a big challenge. I don't know how we are going to tackle it, because the digital space is too loud. But as I say, we need to get like 2 or 3 people, then the rest can actually slow down. But someone will come in and say they're not talking about nutrition, they're talking about herbal, or they're talking about traditional medicine. Recently, we had traditional medicine being integrated into the care continuum by the Ministry of Health nationally. So, of course, I think what we need to do is try as much as we can to merge professionalism with expertise, so that we can have these experts being visible, and that will require a lot of empowerment. And I like what you're doing, mentorship, mentorship for the young and upcoming professionals. I've seen people like Amos publishing a very good book on the visible nutritionist. They're talking about the importance of visibility, the strategies for you to be visible. But we need to remember that, yes, we want to be visible, but let's be visible experts. To score too visible, doing nothing, it will actually help.
Thank you so much, Lillian, for that. I wanted Lillian to come in and talk about um, regulation, because, like she said, Don't just be visible to be visible. Be visible and make sure your expertise back up your visibility, like I had talked about during this segment. So Lilian, tulikuwa ndio tumemalizia tu segment 3, which is about why professionals struggled with visibility. I had mentioned some of the reason according to me: the fear of judgment, fear of being seen, self promotional perfectionism, imposter syndrome, lack of digital skills, cultural beliefs around humility. So I don't know if there's anything you can add on that segment. Why many professionals struggle with visibility, Lilian?
I think if you have touched on all that, including the humility part, because that is one of the things that I struggle with. Um, I think that's it. Because you see, if you get the digital skills, if you get license, and if you overcome perfectionism, then you can actually push out content. But again, people also fear being seen. I don't know why. And the funny thing, or the bad thing, or the weird thing is that now the medics that people say that they wanted to be doctors. Not all of us wanted to be doctors, but people say that nutritionists are people who wanted to be doctors, and then they just did nutrition. Assuming that is the case for all of us, even those medics are actually now putting out content. They're trying to be visible. They're also doing wellness content. So why are we not doing it? And that is what we trained for. If we are actually now chasing perfectionism. And I think one of the things that makes us not have the visibility that we actually want is we want to talk to ourselves. As a content creator, I think one of the things that I'm actually learning to unlearn is that when I am pushing out content, in as much as I have to do something that I like, I also have to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Or if I'm talking to myself, I'm not talking to myself as a nutritionist. I try as much as I can to talk to someone like my mother. You get? Now, if you come in and talk to yourself, or I come to talk to Charity, and I'm trying to get the masses of like my mothers and my friends, then best believe that content will just stop at Charity, because they'll not relate. And we have something that we call the algorithm. The algorithm will not relate, that they will not understand that this is very good content, just that people are not understanding it. They will not do that. So they will stop pushing the content because people are not relating with it, they are not interacting with it. So yes, in as much as we have to be professionals, because we are professionals, and you can be relatable and still maintain professionalism, by the way. You don't have to like go away from professionalism. So once kuongea so many conflicting, when you're looking for content ideas or visibility strategies, people start telling you that you do conflicting things. You start saying that, you start lying, like conflicting, but you can get interactions. As a professional, as you cannot afford to do that. You can do that with other things, but you cannot afford to do that as a professional, because you're regulated and you are required to do the right thing. So, and as much as we are trying to work on perfectionism, let's also try and be humans. Be humans. Let's relate whatever is happening. Let's try and talk to someone who is not a professional to actually help. Charity.
Thank you so much, Lilian, for actually highlighting that. I think I also forgot to mention it. So now nilikuwa kwa segment 4 because nilikuwa nimeendaenda. I wanted by 10 nilikuwa nimemaliza. The segment 4 was about building visibility authentically, and I brought in the aspect of not fully being on social media, kwa sababu si kila mtu atataka kuwa social media. And for me, I feel like visibility does not equal social media influence, and I want everyone here to understand, because kuna wengine tu hawapendi, but some of them are still visible and they are really driving professional growth today, and they are not on social media. So I gave them things that look like visibility but they are off social media, something like publishing articles. Umefanya vizuri kumention Amos. We're supposed to check out that book he wrote. Teaching, research, conference presentation, webinar facilitation. Nilikuwa nimewaambia sometimes kama mtu anataka kujaribu webinar facilitation, they can just reach out to us to a mantle for one day and moderate to see how it feels. Come here to the dialogue. I will facilitate the session to know how it feels. Mentorship, like you spoke about, community, professional networking, which is very, very important, and then thought leadership. So I don't know what you can tell people who want to be visible and show their expertise, but they're really not on social media.
Okay, first let me start by saying currently ignoring social media is almost impossible. But as you have said, you can have digital footprints without being necessarily a social content creator. There are different aspects or categories of creation, or even a different way of interacting with people. As you have talked about publishing books, you have talked about journals, you have talked about professional developments and all that. You've also talked about teaching and such. Those are some of the things that you can highlight. Now, someone who teaches and does not want to be out there, they don't want to be seen that they are teaching. You can still have like an engagement session, and because currently it's not like kitambo, we need to like capitalize on the advantages of this the social era. Kitambo, for you to get a gathering of 1,000 people, you had to do so much food, like food soldiering. Like I was at some point when I was still a teenager or something, I used to do easy food soldiering, za kwenda kutafuta watu kupeana flyers when people had events, and I would get some money out of it. Now, currently, you just okay. You still need to do the food soldering, yes, but of course, if you want, you can still get 1,000 people in a conference, in quotes, in a conference that is like maybe a webinar or a live stream, but you will not need so much effort. But again, this, people will say that you don't need so much effort, but let's be realistic. Me and you are content creators. I think it's even harder to get people now in a room together than it was previously, because the noise in social media is too much. So I think if you can organize the wellness camps, if you can organize the teaching camps, people still need the physical, the humanity of interacting with people is still needed. So yes, you can still create impact, you can still do so much without being on social media, but you still need to be visible doing that, so that people can build trust and people can actually understand what you're all about today. Unfortunately, for you to have some impact or to you to be relevant, nowadays someone will go ahead and Google search you before they even try and engage with you. That's the unfortunate truth. So yes, you can be visible, um, or even create impact without social media, but you need to find a way or find an intersection where your professionalism and the digital footprint actually intersect, and then you work with that. It doesn't have to be loud creation, it doesn't have to be crazy one, but it needs to be impactful. you know I don't know if I've gotten anything in, Charity.
Yes, you have, and I also like winding up this segment by saying, many people think visibility is saying, "Look at me, like I'm visible." But for me, visibility, according to how I've understood in my years of digital content creation, is visibility shows here is what I know, here is what I can contribute, and here is what I can help. That will separate you from the virality and the noise of social media, and it will showcase your expertise because you're showing them this is how we can help as nutrition profession. So Lillian, um, I would love to just go to segment 5, which is the final segment, because time is really not on my side. So we're going to look at the future of professional growth. And for me, I believe the future belongs to professionals who can combine their expertise, communication. I feel like here on the Nutritionist Corner platform, you're really, really big on communicating effectively. And I feel like we've been having sessions. I think like we had 3 or more sessions about communication, because I feel like communication skills is one of the most important things to have as a professional, visibility and credibility. For me, I feel like these 4 things have really powered my journey as a nutritionist and also as a digital content creator, because I feel like the healthcare profession of the future may need to be both a practitioner and a communicator. And I feel like when I was writing that article on my newsletter, that was the idea I had in mind. You're not training to be an influencer. Yes, you can be an influencer if you want to, but I feel like you should be someone who is capable of translating your expertise into impact, like Lillian said. So I don't know, Lillian, if you had anything to add when it comes to advice to the future of professional growth when it comes to expertise and visibility.
You said it well. You said it with charity, and I think everyone should actually. You can pin that article in the comment section so that people can have a look at it. Because when I read it, I was like, everyone needs to understand this. I was like, people need to understand that yes, you want to impact. Yes, you don't want to be like an influencer. You want to create impact, but you don't know how to do it. And I think the best part of that was like learning that people need to intertwine or learn to intersect expertise and visibility so that you can create impact. Because currently, right now, most people who are visible, let's be realistic, most of them are not experts. They're just visible because they have been creating funny content, they have been consistent, they have been showing up, so the algorithm loves them, and maybe they talk about nutrition, and they might not even have the expertise, and some of the things that they talk about might not even make sense to majority of us, but because it relates to what the audiences or the algorithm wants, then it pushes them and they become very visible. So as experts, we get angry. I know I used to get angry, and I know nutritionists still get angry. I used to get angry, but it used to trigger me mpaka ikaisha. It iliisha too. I think I would agree the anger, but I used to get really mad when I would get into social media and I will see people being lied to. I was like, why are you being lied to? Why are you being so vulnerable? I could not understand why they are so vulnerable, but I have come to understand that behavior change is the hardest thing to actually achieve. And for you to do this, if you want to create impact as an expert who in nutrition, be ready to do a lot of work that is not seen in quotes until it is seen. Consistency when no one is watching you is the hardest part of building anything, but it is also the most important part, because if you don't overcome it, if you don't like vuka your bridge when no one is there, is watching, is clapping, is doing anything for you, then you can never build anything meaningful. So I think we need to also learn to other skills, as you have said. We need to learn communication, need to learn digital skills, you need to learn editing, and if you cannot, you can also outsource. If you're in a position to outsource, please do that. And if not, also learn. It's good to have something else apart from the degree. The degree is good. Being a professional, being regulated, the license is great, but you need to have something on top of it to match what the society currently needs. As we were having the discussion the other day with Peterson, he said that our biggest challenge is how the government communicates. That's why Kenyans are reactive, because we don't have community communication strategies in place where, like, now they are talking to the masses, they are telling them what exactly is supposed to happen, why it should happen, and the outcomes that is expected. When we have such very sensitive, or we have such information coming from a point of ignorance, then it becomes a problem. So I think as experts, we also need to learn how to communicate so that we can do effective and impactful community work. Education is community work. Lazima tukubali we are community health workers who need to work and give back to the community. So if we are to do that, then we have to learn these other support skills. And I think I don't understand why nutritionists do not like such webinars. People need to learn that skills are important. The technical part is important, but also learning how to deliver that technical part is important, because if they don't understand you, they will not want to change. Charity.
Thank you so much, Lilian. And also to add on that, a lot of studies consistently show that trust remains one of the most important determinants of influence, especially in the healthcare space. People need to trust you. And how is trust built? After between the two people, you have to be competent. That's why you need your expertise. You need to keep on um, reading, research, attend webinars. There are a lot of webinars out there. So there's no excuse of why you shouldn't be competent in what you do. Consistency, like Lillian said, showing up when no one is watching or when people are watching. But most of the time, consistency is when you show up when no one is watching. That is the best kind of consistency and communication. Because for me, visibility without trust, I feel like you're going to struggle. But if I don't trust you, I will not watch your content. And visibility versus expertise, I feel like they're equally important. One can do without the other. You can have expertise, but you're not visible, like we talked about. But will that really propel your professional growth in this day and age? That is a question you should ask yourself. So the goal is not choosing between expertise and visibility. The goal is ensuring visibility amplifies your expertise. Go read that article. Lilian, I will pin the article in this session when
Please do.
it goes up live on our LinkedIn, and also when I upload this on my YouTube, I'm going to pin that article and keep reading, and also add in the comment section what your thoughts are about the session. Has visibility helped you professionally to grow? Do you think expertise alone is still enough today? Have you ever missed an opportunity because people simply didn't know what you do? And lastly, what does healthcare professional remain hesitant to put themselves out there, like Lillian asked you guys? I really want this to be a very interactive discussion when this video is up. So guys, please comment. I know even a call to impromptu tumewashtua, but life happens, so we have to conform with what is currently happening in our lives. But I'm glad this session was there. So Lilian, I don't know if you have any other thoughts before I close and do other things about the whole session, because you joined in a little bit later.
No, Charity, no, Charity. Thank you for holding foot. I was a bit held up. Aki, life is really happening, but it is well. I will definitely rewatch it and follow through.
Thank you so much, Lilian. Najaribu just guys, give us a minute. I have to show you guys the nomination so that you can vote for us. We've been nominated. Lilian, just give me a minute. Need download. I thought I had downloaded it. Yes, kwani may download. Present.
And we'll also share the link for the voting in the comment section.
So, guys, we've been nominated for this Golden Voice East Africa Awards for New NGO Company of the Year. Please vote. I'd shared a post early in the morning with the link to vote for us. We really appreciate you guys so much. Lilian?
Mtupigie kura, Aki, mtupigie kura. A vote goes for 10 shillings. And once you piga the kura, please share a screenshot. We'll be more than grateful.
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. At least it's our first award as a platform. So please feel free to nominate us. If our work as the Nutritionist Corner platform, these discussions, any impact we've made in your life, we really appreciate you guys. And please vote for us. Yes. So this session has been about visibility, expertise versus visibility, what really drives professional growth today. And I've been your moderator / speaker for a while. My name is Charity Onyonyi. I'm a certified nutritionist, and I'm also one of the co-founders of this platform. And for me to you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep sharing if you come across this live, and let people know about it. We really appreciate you guys. So have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye. Have a lovely day.